Namaskar to all of you and welcome to Sri Vidya Astrology.
Namaste.
So I have shared some of the slides here, but we are going to actually study how to use Bhavat Bhavam principle for understanding a horoscope, and we should particularly focus on the power of moon. So now let me remind you what is that Bhavat Bhavam principle. If we are going to study or analyze any particular chart, then the first thing we should do is we have to understand the Kal Purush Kundli. This is the beginning of any astrological study. Understanding Kal Purush Kundli. And which I have told, Kal Purush Kundli means we are arranging the signs only. The signs are arranged in a way that in place of Lagna, the first sign should be Aries. Okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
And here the focus is only on the houses. In
Hmm.
Kal Purush Kundli, only houses are to be understood and houses with respect to sign. So what is the relationship? The first house is nothing but the sign Aries.
Yeah.
Second house is the sign Taurus and so on.
Notice.
Okay? So you must have remembered this. All the signs, 12 signs followed by the 12 houses. So if we are going to say who can be the first house according to astrology, then from the basic KPK chart, Kalpurus Kundli chart, the first sign is Aries and we have to
Hmm.
consider first sign as the first house. Second sign is Taurus, so we have to consider second sign as the second house. Third sign is Gemini, so we have to consider the third sign Gemini as the third house and so on.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now what is that Bhavat Bhavam principle? Bhavat Bhavam principle means we are going to count the same number with respect to a particular sign. For example, say I am trying to find out the Bhavat Bhavam of this particular house. Any kundli can be given. Then the Bhavat Bhavam has to be counted from the number of house to that many number. So what is the number of house here? Third house.
3.
So that is why I have to calculate like this. 1, 2 and 3. And this house will become the Bhavat Bhavam.
Bhavat Bhavam.
This is the seventh house. So I have to calculate 7. So I will get this as the Bhavat Bhavam house. If this is the seventh house, then from this I have to calculate 7. So I will reach this house as the Bhavat Bhavam house. We have already discussed this. So now, what is the use of this actually? Finding out the Bhavat Bhavam house is important, but
Hmm.
understanding the core values is more important.
Hmm.
What are the core values? Why this kind of calculation has to be done?
Hmm.
So for understanding that, we know that every house is associated with certain characteristic. Likewise, every planet is also associated with certain characteristic.
Hmm.
And every sign has also certain characteristic. Yani all aspects of astrology has something to give you, be it a planet, be it a sign, or be it a house. And they are their core values. Okay? So we have to consider those core values. And how to consider that core values? For example, what is the first house? We must understand that. First house is self.
Hmm.
House is health. Health. First house represents your status.
Status.
False house represents your vitality. What is the chances of getting cured? Vitality. How you defeat the diseases or health issues. You know what is the meaning of this H, this house H? It's Bhavat Bhavam associated with self. There is no other house. So now that ultimately means if you want to improve these particular features, you want to improve your health, you want to improve your status, you want to improve yourself or vitality, then you should not look into any other house, but you should find out something directly associated with the house. This is the meaning, critical meaning. If I improve my health, my self-respect, my status, then ultimately these are certain characteristics where I am focusing on the growth of self, growth of the soul. Why soul? Because soul is also seen from the first house. So we usually tell that when I do this particular thing, I feel very happy from the core of my heart. We used to say like this.
Hmm.
When we do certain thing, we say our mind get the peace and we feel very happy, pleasant about what is happening. So every people are associated with some kind of habits. When habit give you happiness, that is associated with moon. When habit give you happiness, that is associated with moon. So eating something, going to a place where you like, sitting nearby a sea, or reading a particular book, or watching a movie, all these are associated with the happiness of the mind. And they are actually, you can say, not very great happiness that we can associate with the soul. They are different, okay? You can say some high quality aspiration or high quality habits which give you satisfaction at the soul level, and some low quality habits which give you satisfaction at the moon level. They are to be
Hmm.
different. So I am talking here about the higher goal, higher soul effects. So now
Hmm.
ultimately, doing certain kind of spiritual practice or trying to explore something which is actually not associated with material gains, or finding out questions like from where I have come, what is the reason behind coming to this birth, and what I expect to actually get rid of the life cycle. That means I should not come again to the world. These are higher thinkings and they are associated with the soul. So today, one more student, Vali, will join our class, and she will be joining from USA. Currently, she is in India. I have allowed her to join. Okay. So let's proceed. So soul purpose is higher purpose. So when you want to achieve that, then you have to think about this particular Lagna house. Okay. This particular Lagna house. More emphasis should be given on the Lagna. But what about money? Suppose somebody wants to earn money. Then again, the basic question about money is there are houses which are actually associated with money, primary house of earning money. So I will tell you one
Second
thing,
house.
because we are using the Bhavat Bhavam principle, counting the same number of houses from the original house and trying to find out the relation. So first house is self-sufficient and it is all about soul happiness. But second house is an association. What is that second house? First we have to understand what is second house. Second
Hmm.
house is about your cash flow.
Hmm.
Cash flow. And that is different from what you earn. Okay. Suppose you are having a property. You may not get the cash flow regularly from the property. There are certain dormant. But when you are earning rent from a property, then again we have to consider the second house, because second house is somehow associated with cash flow.
Cash flow.
Secondly, second house is also associated with speech, how you speak. Okay. Second house is also associated with the relatives. Relatives means relatives from your maternal side and relatives from your paternal side, whole relatives. Second house is also your face. What is the
Is what?
structure of face?
Face.
Okay. Second house is also associated with so many other things. We have to consider one after the other. Second house is also nourishment. This is a very big term. Who is the nourisher of the world? Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is referred to as the
Vishnu.
nourisher of the world. Nourishment. That means to live or to continue life or to sustain life, you need to have some food. So again, food is also seen from the second house. Okay. For sustenance, you require a lot many things. So any kind of sustenance of the person is seen from the second house. Sustenance of health is seen from the second house. So when we are saying this, then we should actually try to find out how it is related to the Bhavat Bhavam house. Bhavat Bhavam house is the third house or second from the second house. Okay. So now if this is the first house, then I can say this is the Bhavat Bhavam house. So these two houses are associated. Okay. Second house is associated with the third house. So the simple meaning of understanding Bhavat Bhavam for second house is for actually increasing cash flow, for having some development in the speech, for having good relationship with your relatives, for having a good facial expression or getting something improvement of the face, if we are going to say, then we can also work on this third house because they are interlinked. So whichever house we are considering, first thing is that house will represent certain basic characters, and the Bhavat Bhavam house will associate itself to the original house. Okay. So when it is associating itself to the original house, then all the characteristics that we have discussed with respect to the house can be improved with respect to the Bhavat Bhavam house. Now the
Hmm.
question arises how you are going to improve, because once you know that these two houses are associated, then you will definitely try your best to improve the quality or the result of the house. So I
Hmm.
will take one example. Suppose somebody wants to increase the cash flow. Suppose somebody wants to increase the cash flow. So now how you are going to improve it? You have to work on the third house because cash flow is seen from the second house primarily. So primarily third house will also help you to increase the cash. That means you require extra effort to increase the cash.
Cash.
Why? Because efforts are seen from the third house and third house is linked to the second house. Okay. So I am giving
Hmm.
example. We are not actually finding out the chart or finding out how it works. We are simply saying how we can simply find out things of the third house is going to improve the cash flow. So ultimately, third house is also your younger brothers and sisters. So any kind of association, good relationship with them is also likely to improve your financial health. Why it will happen, I am not telling. We will discuss it afterwards. But good relationship with brothers and sisters will improve your health, will improve your, you can say, cash flow, will improve how you speak. So let me correlate why it happens. Usually it is seen that certain businesses are run by brothers or family businesses are run by giving different roles to different siblings of the house. And there is a huge growth which is seen from the association of the family, and the family business also breaks when there is division between the, you can say, brothers or sisters or the family members who are involved. So we can assume that efforts are going to increase your money flow, efforts are going to increase actually all the things which are represented by the second house. So third house is also the small journeys we take. Third house is also the small journeys which take. For example, you are regularly traveling 40 kilometer, 50 kilometer to a place of work. That small journey, 30-40 kilometer, is associated with third house. So usually it is seen that if you are not doing your job from the home, or you are traveling to a small distance, be it 30 kilometer, 40 kilometer, 100 kilometer regularly, it has a direct relationship with your earning. So this is also a kind of solution for your problem. Suppose your second lord is sitting in the third house. Second lord is sitting in the third house. Then you can experiment on these things. You have to improve the relationship with your brothers and sisters. So ultimately what will happen when you are in a financial crunch? You may get support from them. Suppose you are having a job where a particular planet is moving into your third house. And if that planet is a fast moving planet, then ultimately you can move from your home or you can do a job where you require a lot of traveling. That will also improve the cash flow. So that is why I have actually tried to build a relationship between the second house and the third house. What is that? Second house related to cash flow, third house related to traveling, third house related to sibling, third house related to efforts, third house is also related to your writing ability, written communication skill. Okay. So people who are very good at writing, they have a lot of words to speak. When you have little vocabulary, you are not very accustomed with writing, then your speech is definitely very poor. Okay, there is a correlationship between the two. Suppose I use 5,000 of English words, then definitely my sentences which I form in English will be of great value and it can be very pleasant because I have a great storage of certain words which is usually not used by me. But when I know only a few number of words, that will automatically affect my English vocabulary and also my speaking ability. So that is why speech can be improved by practice of writing. How I am going to relate it? Because second house is speech, third house is your writing skill. And they are related by the Bhavat Bhavam principle. Okay? In this way, I can say, if you want to improve your cash flow, then as a remedy, you should definitely improve your relationship with your brothers and sisters, particularly younger brothers and sisters. Why? Because third house is younger brother and sister. Second house is cash flow. Suppose you are going to improve your relationship with the relatives, then also you should take small journeys to your relatives. Okay, you are frequently visiting their houses. That frequent visit or small visits or moving 30-40 kilometers is third house, and relatives are seen from the second house. So that will also improve the second house characteristic that is related to relatives. Suppose you are improving how you look, then you must have some extra effort on third house. You have to find out time and do some regular things with respect to your face. You have to have the face wash done. You have to use. You are doing something and you are taking a calculated efforts towards that for improving. Okay. So now this is
Mm.
how we are going to relate the primary things. Let me come to the third house now.
So, so
Uh,
one question.
Let me complete it. Again, I will come to the third house because recording is going on. So even if somebody has joined late, it is very easy to understand. I will share the recording. So try to correlate because in every house, I am going to write what are the characteristics. Then I will say what is the Bhavat Bhavam house and how they are related. So just wait for a minute. It will solve your problem. No issues. So now what I am telling is, I have to find out two houses which are correlated to each other. And the principle I am going to use is Bhavat Bhavam principle, correlation of two houses. So say I am directly jumping to the eighth house. Say this is the house, eighth house. Now, first thing is to which house this eighth house is related. So that
Number
house is
3.
referred to as the Bhavat Bhavam house.
Hmm.
Okay. So now calculate and tell which is the Bhavat Bhavam house.
Number 3.
Number three. So what I am doing is for finding out the Bhavat Bhavam house of a particular house, I number that house as one because this is the house from which I have to calculate the Bhavat Bhavam house. And how many times I have to count? The same number of
Eight.
time,
8.
the number of the house. So that is why I calculated 8 as 1, 9 as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. So now these two houses are the Bhavat Bhavam house. If I am going to find out for 7, then I have to start 7 as 1 and calculate 7. If I have to calculate for 10, 10 as 1 and from that 10 house.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now third house is the Bhavat Bhavam house of the eighth house. Third house is the Bhavat Bhavam house of the eighth house.
Hmm.
Just a minute. Give me a particular minute. Hello. Can you hear me? What is there in the screen? The relationship third house with eighth house. Bhavat
8th
Bhavam.
house.
Okay. So now actually I am trying to find out what is the importance of eighth house and what is the relationship of eighth house with the third house.
Yes.
So I will start again. The key features of eighth house. Okay. So now key features of eighth house. Eighth house represents your birth and death, or you can simply say the span of life. Okay. Lifespan. So write that. This
Hmm.
also represents the very topic that we are discussing, astrology.
Hmm.
This also represents someone's house of in-laws or in-laws. Why in-laws? Because this is the house of the spouse and second to it will be the spouse relative. So house of in-laws that is seen from the eighth house. Okay.
Hmm.
So now in between let me tell one more thing. As I have said second house is relative. Then ultimately this is the house for mother. So second from it is mother's related. Okay. Every second house will represent certain things. This is your 11th house associated with your elder brother and elder sister. So 12th is his relatives, those relatives which are actually primarily associated with him. The relationship made through marriage. Okay. So now his relatives, and you cannot say that all the relatives of your brother or sister are directly your relatives. Certain relatives are there who are actually more associated with your brother because of marriage. So those relatives can be also seen from the next house. Okay. And suppose this is the house of a father. Then again, second from it will represent his relatives, immediate relatives. So in this way, every second house can be associated with so many things by understanding astrology. And that astrology that you are trying to understand is with associated with which house? With eighth house.
8th house.
So suppose somebody is saying second house is cash flow. Then If somebody is earning money from the property, then which is the house to decide? Property is fourth house. So second from fourth house will be the property giving you money. Money earned from the house of property. Okay. Suppose you are learning some skills. Then skill is seen from the fifth house. So earning money using your skill is seen from the sixth house. Because it is second from the fifth. Every second house will give you certain money with respect to the previous house. So you will listen to this particular recording and we will discuss how it works in the next class. But let's come back to the primary consideration, the consideration for 8th house. So 8th house represents lifespan. 8th house represents astrology. 8th house represents your in-laws. 8th house also represents ancestral property. Ancestral property. 8th house also represents transformation. Okay. Transformation. 8th house has so many attributes. Secret things are also known from the 8th house. Secrets. Your secrets. Even accidents and sudden events are seen from the 8th house. Accidents. Surgery is seen from the 8th house. Okay. So now that ultimately means you can learn a number of keywords associated with every house. Now we have to associate this with third house because it is the Bhavat Bhavam house of the 8th house. So in KP or in other astrology, usually it says that if you are having a good lifespan, then that can be seen from your 8th and third house. So I am telling one formula. If you want to find out the lifespan of a particular person from the chart, then which two houses you are going to see? 8th house and
Third
third
house.
house. Why? Because third house is the Bhavat Bhavam house of the 8th house. So that ultimately means we have to use common sense also. Like in law, you require codified common sense. You don't require to read a lot of verdicts given by judges in difficult, high sounding words. You have to only understand what is the crux of the judgment. Okay? Astrology also behaves like that. You have to understand the crux of the thing. So what I am telling is, if I want to understand what is my lifespan, how long I will live, then I have to focus on my 8th house and third house. Then the very first question is this: why third house? Because third house is the house internally linked to your 8th house. So any particular characteristic of the 8th house is indirectly linked to your third house.
Okay.
So that is why astrology requires a lot of efforts. That is why astrology requires a lot of effort. Even if you watch a number of videos, read blogs, read books, it is very difficult to tame astrology because astrology requires something to do with the third house. And what is the third house primarily? Third house is your efforts. Okay? How much actually you are trying to learn something. Which something? Learn the roots of astrology, learn the basics of astrology, learn the way how astrology works. So that requires your efforts and that is associated with the third house. Transformation. Transformation means whatever is your state of life, you want to change that state. You are financially not doing well. So transformation means that time where you are actually financially very positive and you have great sources of finances. Means you have changed the state of your life in terms of finances. Suppose you are actually having lot of health issues. Then transformation means you are getting rid of that health issues and you are having a robust life, having a good vitality. Okay. Suppose you are having no ancestral property to sell or any kind of problem associated with the ancestral property. There is always issues related to partition or issues related to dispute with the ancestral property. And you want to actually get that ancestral property. Then you have to file a case, you have to meet the lawyer, you have to put some pressure, you have to actually ascertain your right in the property. And all these things requires a lot of what?
Effort.
Efforts. And here efforts are never sufficient. You actually have to move in a direction where you have to take shelter under writing. So doing a legal case requires a lot of writing. Okay. Oral communication is not enough. You are going to say your relatives or your stakeholders that give my position, give my part of the ancestral property. They are not going to do it. What you are going to do is you have to keep writing, you have to create some evidences, you have to have some documents, and you have to actually approach the court directly or indirectly. Okay. So litigation and courts are seen from which house? Sixth house. But the writing activity are seen from which house? Writing
Second.
activity are seen from the third house.
Third.
And the
Third.
lawyer cannot write by himself. You have to actually inform him. You have to also show the documents. You have to also show that yes, these are the properties which has to be divided. And I am having this much of stake in this property. And I am the legal heir of the concerned property associated with the concerned property. So these kind of communication where lot of efforts, lot of writing are directly, indirectly are associated with the third house. So that is why eighth house is directly connected to the third house. Similarly, transformation. Even if you wish to actually change the state, you want to have a good health, have good wealth, have good social recognition, status. The primary houses are different. Status is associated with the first house. Your money flow is associated with the 11th house indirectly. Buying a home is associated with the fourth house. But these are going to transform you. You are living in a rented house. Your thought process is different. You are facing different kind of issues because of that rented house. When you own a house, you have lot of comfort. You have also a lot of independence. But these houses are going to change the way you live, isn't it?
Hmm.
It will transform your life. So that transformation is seen from the eighth house. And eighth house is associated with the third house. Without efforts, it is very difficult to actually have, you can say, any kind of transformation possible. For transformation, the first thing required is a healthy mind and a particular plan in writing, and also focusing on the particular habit to develop so that you can transform yourself. All these are directly and indirectly associated with the third house. Okay. So now suppose I am saying eighth lord is sitting in the third house. Eighth lord is sitting in the third house. Then you can learn astrology, but you require a lot of efforts. Suppose eighth lord is sitting in the third house. You can get the properties of your ancestor, but you have to definitely find out a solution by sitting with your siblings, isn't it? Because third house is also sibling. You have to also do some written work. You cannot simply have verbal discussions and you are likely to solve the issue. You should definitely develop some documents, some writing skill. You should message, you should intimate, and you have to put that particular effort in terms of, you can say, tangible writing skills. There must be something to show that yes, I have these documents. And what are documents? Documents are nothing but created in
Written
writing.
communication.
Okay, written communication. So you can do that. Similarly, if I am going to actually increase my lifespan, then I have to also particularly make some effort for that, improving the third house. That will improve your eighth house characteristic. And improving the third house means I have to actually have good relationship with my brothers and sisters. I have good ability to write things, or I can find somebody who can write on my behalf, but I am primarily dealing with how things should be written. Okay, so if somebody is trying to solve some problem, solve some, uh, uh, you can say, mathematical tools, or he usually writes one page every day, or he reads and take notes while learning astrology. You are, by the time you are learning, you are just not listening, you are also writing, then that will improve the characteristic of the eighth house. I hope you can relate now. Okay, we will study further how this principle can be applied for remedies, because people usually ask you, sir, tell me how I can improve my life, how I can change this, how I will earn more money, or how I can have job satisfaction, how I can improve my marital relationship. So everybody asks. So whenever you are trying to actually having a change with respect to that particular matter, then eighth house is the house of change. Suppose you want to change your personality, then which house you have to take?
Eighth house.
Eighth house, because eighth is one from eight. Now for doing that, you require efforts. Efforts is seen from the third house. Suppose you want to change the financial status, then which house you have to look primarily? Because second house is the house of wealth. So eighth from is your ninth house. So changing your wealth will depend upon how much you are learned. That means you have to learn great things. You have to read books. You have to have a guru. You have to have good association with your father. Why I am saying this? Because ninth house is father. Ninth house is higher education. Ninth house is higher journeys. Ninth house is religious mindset. Okay. Ninth house is associated with your Vedic wisdom. Ninth house is also associated with, you can simply say, what you do for the society in terms of religious activities. So to change the money flow, I have to focus on the ninth house. And when I am focusing on the ninth house, where I have to put the efforts? Ninth from ninth. Okay. Suppose you want to change the relationship with your colleagues. Relationship with your colleagues. Then where you are going to see the colleagues? Your 10th house. Because 10th house is the house of your job, the
Hmm.
daily work. So colleagues are usually seen, or they are going to interact in the office hours, office time. Even they can also interact after the office time also, but primarily they are going to interact because of the job, isn't it? So you want to change the relationship, improve the relationship. So which house you have to focus? 8th from the 10th house. 8th from the 10th house. That is the fifth house. Okay? That is the fifth house. But if you want to change it, then again you have to see which house will help you to improve in a way. So fifth from fifth, fifth from fifth, because fifth house is related to which house directly? To itself and the Bhavat Bhavam house. So there are three processes to actually understand astrology, and this is the best process. Okay. Suppose I am asking you how your father writes thing. What is his writing ability? Then where to see it?
So third house? No. So father's is ninth house. And
So third from it, isn't it?
third from
Right.
the ninth house.
Yeah, writing is seen from the third house. So father's writing will be seen from the father's house, third from it. Okay?
Yeah.
Third from the father's house. How your mother write, how you can see that?
So third from the fourth house.
Great. So every third house is associated with the writing skill of the concerned person. Suppose you have a younger brother. How he writes can be seen from the fifth house, isn't it? So brother is seen from the third house. Third from it will be his writing skill. How a
So
doctor
right.
writes?
So writing skills of the father can be seen from which house? House of father is the
Skills.
ninth house.
Skills from the father. Skill is fifth house, isn't it? Skill is fifth house. So father is from the ninth house. 9 to 5 you have to calculate. Father skill. That is your
Oh,
first house. So actually whatever you are a reflection of your father's skill. Whatever you are a reflection of your father's skill. If
so
the father, okay, first
skill
house.
skills is the fifth house. So fifth house from the ninth house will show father's writing skills.
Okay, okay. If you can understand this, then I can also add another layer. Father is seen from the sun also, isn't it?
Yes.
So that is why fifth from the sun is also the skill of your father.
Hmm.
Mother is seen from moon also. So fourth from moon is the happiness from your mother, because fourth is happiness and mother is seen from the moon. So fourth from moon is your happiness. Okay? Happiness from mother. First house is actually your health. So ultimately, if you want to check the father's health, then it should be seen from the ninth house. Okay? Because ninth is the first house for father. And father's health is associated with first house. So sun also will give you idea about the father's health. Mother is seen from the moon. So moon also tells you about your mother's health. Because it is the first house for moon. Wherever your moon is, that will tell you about your mother's health. What kind of diseases or health issues mother will face. Then health issues are seen from the sixth house. So which house you have to look? Fourth house is for mother. So you have to calculate six from it.
Sixth house.
In Bhavat Bhavam, actually, we are trying to know how calculation has to be done. And if you know calculation, you know 70% of the astrological predictions. Somebody is asking, my mother is not well. When she will become well soon? She will get improvement in the health. This is the question. Usually, you are going to be asked questions like this. This person is going to be married. So, how and what kind of marital life can be seen? So, I am going to use these basic principles. That is why I am taking so much of time to explain, because Bhavat Bhavam is just a kind of tool to use. It is a kind of tool. Which house is associated with what things, and the primary and secondary house for those things. Bhavat Bhavam has to be applied. Suppose somebody is going to foreign and he is asking how I will actually have an experience in a foreign country. I am going there for the first time. I will stay there for 3 years. So tell me whether it will be positive or negative in my life. So now I will also answer this question by answering using Bhavat Bhavam principle. So what is that? First, primary house is deals with foreign travel, because all of you are somehow associated with a foreign country. You have actually gone away from India and you are attending the classes from a different country. So that different country, different culture is seen from the 12th house. Okay.
Hmm.
So now which house I have to read for finding out whether you will do good in foreign or not? Primarily your 12th house.
Yes.
And what is the second house? The subsidiary house I have to look for. 12th from 12th. Isn't it? That is the Bhavat Bhavam house. 12th from 12th. So 11th house. Somebody is asking, sir, I am not finding happiness in my job. I want to change it. So now from which house I have to see the job?
Job is
10th house.
10th
And
house.
change in job is
Eighth
8th
house.
from 10th. 8th
Hmm.
from 10th. So I have to see the 10th house and also that house. And again, I have to see the subsidiary house, because everything associated with job can be seen from the 7th house and the 10th house. Why 7th house? Because job is 10th from 10th. Job is 10th from
From 10th. Okay.
Bhavat Bhavam is the 7th house. Okay. So that is why In marriage, usually the person who is earning good money, doing a good job is preferred. Okay? In marriage, person earning good money or in a good job is preferred. Basic requirement. Okay? But suppose somebody is having a love affair and it is going to be converted into marriage. Then the primary house is not seventh house. Which is that primary house? That fifth house. Primary house is fifth house.
Why fifth house?
Love marriage.
Fifth house is love.
Fifth house is love. Okay? So
We
now
haven't done houses, have we? What stands for which house?
Yes,
we have
yes.
we
Done
have to
last
go
week.
through. Actually, you have to make a note. Otherwise, uh, you have to go through the videos and you have to relate them again. I will
Okay,
share.
okay.
I will share PPT.
Avanti, we'll talk later after the class.
Okay.
I will actually share PPTs where houses primarily represent certain things will be there. But you have to build up those uh, characteristics of the house one by one. Okay.
Hmm.
First, you have to
Hmm.
focus on the primary things. And
Hmm.
that again, whenever we are going to discuss astrology, we will do that. Every time
Hmm.
we are going to discuss something, it will be associated with the sign, house, and planet. So what you have to do in the initial classes is what are the characteristics of the planets? What things they represent? What are the characteristics of the house? What things they represent? What are the characteristics of the sign? What things they represent?
Hmm.
This makes the 70% of the understanding of astrology. Without
Hmm.
basics, you cannot actually improve. Okay. And if I am going to teach you one by one, first house is this, second house is this, then this course will never end even in 2 years. Okay.
Hmm.
But I will definitely discuss before giving any particular explanation about how Vedic astrology works. I will explain
Hmm.
as I have explained here, what is first house, what is Bhavat Bhavam of first house, what
Hmm.
is second house, Bhavat Bhavam second house, third house, Bhavat Bhavam of third house. Okay. Finally, I am going to add some layers into it because ultimately planets will also come into the picture. So now in today's class, we have discussed only four fundamental things. What are they? Certain characteristic we want to change or we want to improve. Then primarily we have to focus on the house. For improving, we also should know about the Bhavat Bhavam house. And we have explained eighth house in this regard, second house in this regard, and third house in this regard. In details, we have
Yeah.
discussed. And we are
Yeah.
not going to cover all the houses because it will make no sense. If you know which house is what, then you can know the Bhavat Bhavam house. Okay?
Okay.
So suppose you are finding out third in any particular script, third house is coming. For example, 8 from 8 is third, second from second is third. So third house is coming. So that means for improving your finances, third house has to be focused. For improving your health and vitality, again third house has to be focused because this will increase the lifespan. For having gain from financials in respect to ancestral property, again you have to focus on the third. For having a change in your life, change in your state, change in finances, again you have to focus on the third because change is basically associated with third house, eighth and third house. So now I am using this idea to other things. Suppose I want to change the position in my job role. I want to get some promotion. Then I must focus on the third and eighth from it. Why? Because they are the change. So associated change with 10th house is third from 10th and eighth from 10th. Are you getting it? 3 and 8
Yes.
are transformation. So I am using now this tool for any particular transformation that I want. I want to learn some skills. I want to learn some skills. So primarily skills are fifth house. But I have to put efforts for that. And what is that? Third from the fifth. Then only I will get a change in my skill. I do not learn something, but after learning that skill, I have improvement. Suppose I am trying to analyze a chart. So in the initial period, it is very difficult to analyze what to tell, how to look, what is actually there in the life of the particular client who has sought through your services. Now, after trying a lot, there is a change. You can simply see the chart and tell these are the problems you are facing. This is the dasa going on. You have to do this. These are the remedies. So you are actually having a transformation in the quality of your skill, isn't it? Any particular seva is seen from the sixth house. So usually we say service to mankind is service to God. So what is the best service? Actually, the service of a doctor, isn't it?
Hmm.
The doctor service is actually equated to the service of God, as if God is serving you. They are referred to as the living God because they can give you life. We expect that. Life is given by the God, so anybody doing that job is equated to God. My father used to tell me even drivers are also equated to God. Whoever is driving a vehicle, even it is a pilot, or you can say somebody driving a car or a train, they are also equated to God. Why? Because your life is in their hand. Okay? A single mistake by them will ruin your life.
Ambulance driver.
So that is why if I say doctor are the primary service provider in the society, then how we can say about their writing? Sixth house associated with doctor, and what is their
Hmm.
writing skill? Associated with eighth house. Okay? Sixth can be associated with the doctor, and third is his writing skill. So which is that house? Eighth house.
6, 7, 8, 8.
So that is why it is very difficult to read the writing of a doctor. Most of the doctors, okay? Because eighth house is the house of secrecy. Eighth house is the
Hmm.
house where you cannot actually read something or you can understand what is there in the writing. Okay? Even their technical words written in very legible form or written in printed form also cannot be understood. Are you getting it? So that is
Hmm.
why a good doctor, a good lawyer who are going to provide you service, then their strategy, their plan, their writing skill are very difficult to actually comprehend. Whatever they will tell, you will say yes, yes, yes. Are you getting it? It is
Yeah.
because their writing has some secretive element in them. Professional writing has the secrecy. So that is
Hmm.
why most of the doctors who are very good, their writing skills are also good. But it is very difficult for common man to decipher or to understand.
Hmm.
Okay. Any intelligent person who has good mercury cannot write very artistically. Naturally, there is kind of distortion in the writing. It is not very legible, it is not very beautiful to see. Why? Because beauty is associated with Venus.
Venus. Hmm.
Beauty is associated with Venus. And
Hmm.
writing is associated with Mercury.
Hmm.
And they are such planets that if one is very strong, you are very intelligent, then you are much likely to have a negative Venus. Because Venus is not as strong in the house where Mercury is strong. So I have also given a chart where planets are having their own house, where the planet is exalted. You can relate that. So to give that example in writing, Mercury is exalted here and Venus is exalted just in the opposite house. Okay. Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo, in own sign. Mercury is exalted means it has great power.
Hmm.
So sixth house is the house. So that is why doctors are seen from the sixth house. Even lawyers are seen from the sixth house. Writing skill, whatever they are writing, it has a great impact on the society. Okay? Directly and indirectly, if they win a case or they solve a problem or they write an article that will be respected throughout the world.
Hmm.
Suppose a doctor is writing about how to cure a particular disease. Suppose he is going to explain that how things are going to be applied for getting rid of a particular disease. Then his writing has a lot of energy. It will definitely improve the condition of the society at large. Same happens with a good lawyer. He fights a case, he writes, and usually judges are going to copycat what the lawyers have written. Because there are two kind of lawyers. One is fighting in favor and the other is fighting against. So they have represented their arguments in writing. Judge will go through both the writings and he will find the judgment according to that writing. He will prefer one, or he will find a neutral view, or he will have a view just because of the writing of the lawyers. Usually that is why the case once solved, decree passed, or judgment made, or some written judgment, they are very critically explained. Huge voluminous pages are there. The Supreme Court rulings or the Supreme Court judgments run into hundred of pages. It is because the lawyers actually have placed before the judge so many pages of arguments. Okay, so that is why I say if sixth house is associated with some kind of skill which is going to primarily serve the society or do some service at large, then here the skill is not seen from the fifth house. The skill is seen from the association of the second house, because skill is also associated with, you can say, solving problems, isn't it? Skill is also associated with providing some seva, service. So any seva has primarily some kind of skill associated. A doctor cannot give you services without the skill of learning the art of healing, isn't it? A lawyer cannot give you services without learning the art of arguing, learning the art of writing, learning the art of pleading. So that is why money from your skill is also seen from the sixth house. Money from your skill is also seen from the sixth house. So a good doctor who is skilled one, he is earning good money, can also be seen from the sixth house. Because skill is primarily the fifth house of the doctor and sixth house is the money from the skill. A good lawyer take a lot of fees because he has a great skill. When fifth house is great, the next house is also equally great. Okay? Because that will nourish it. Second house will nourish it. Every second house nourishes. Suppose you want to have a good health, then you have to first take good foods, isn't it? Nutritious food you have to take. Why? Because second house is nourishment house. It will nourish which house? The previous house of it. The house which is first will be nourished by its second house. So skill is a house. You want to nourish that house. Which house do you have to look at? Sixth house. Because fifth house is house of skill. To nourish that skill, to improve that skill, to actually feed certain characteristic or certain, you can say, uh, imagination, creativity to your skill. You have to actually nourish it. You have to follow certain good astrologers. You have to follow certain good books. You have to actually go through certain practices regularly, and you will enhance your skill. That is why every good cricketer or a player or an actor is also seen from the sixth house. Why? Because they are constantly practicing their skills. Skill is fifth house, popularity is fifth house, and it is not easy for them. They have a great routine. They will practice every day for certain hours. They will go to the gym. They will not eat any food they like. They usually eat food which are going to help them, isn't it? So now nourishment is explained this way only. So how you are going to nourish your interest for astrology? Your nourishment of astrology is seen from the ninth house. Okay. Why ninth house? Because eighth house is astrology and ninth house is nourishment. So you require a
Second
good,
from that.
you require a good guru for that. And it is not that you have been reading astrology for only 2-3 days. You have been reading astrology for so many years. You have gone through so many gurus, so many books, so many explanations. And every guru has a unique way of teaching, unique way of actually enhancing your skills. But I will again say, if you are going to be a good astrologer, then not only your guru is going to help you, even your mother and your fourth house is going to help you. Why? Because eighth house is astrology, Bhavat Bhavam is third house. So nourishment of the third house is your fourth house. So
Oh.
that is why you have to have a good relationship with your mother. You have to have a good calm mind, calm and quiet mind. Because mind is seen from the fourth house, isn't it? It will nourish your astrology. That is why I repeatedly tell people, don't jump into topics. Focus only on the topic at hand. And that is why Jupiter is the Karaka of astrology. Because Jupiter is exalted in which house? In the fourth
Ninth
house.
house.
Ninth
Okay,
is
okay.
its own sign, okay? Exalted in the fourth house. Kalpurus Kundli, Cancer sign, Jupiter is exalted. So Jupiter
Mm.
is exalted. Why Jupiter is exalted in the moon sign? In the sign of a particular planet, which is actually eloped with his wife. So moon represents fluctuation. Moon represents distraction for your uh, petty gain. In the beginning, I have told, happiness of the mind is a very deceiving thing. You may be happy by doing some unethical work, but your soul cannot be happy by doing unethical works. Are you getting it?
Mm.
So that is why small gains are seen from moon, bigger gain is seen from sun, because sun is associated with soul. Something which suits your soul cannot be achieved easily. You cannot be popular and have a great status without improving your sun. But you can be happy by petty things. You gain a small money, you are happy. You gain a good food, you are happy. You visited a restaurant, you are happy. You visited some place, you are happy. So happiness can be easily gained. But improvement of the soul, improvement of the self are difficult things that require lot of practice. So that is why for you can say salvation, for getting you can say free from the life of birth and death, from the cycle of birth and death, you require a great soul. Great sun is required. And we can only do it by looking into ourselves, looking inwards. You cannot find out the soul satisfaction outward. Okay? Because outward means you are moving away from the house. So second house is materialistic gain in terms of money. So you are looking into third house, Bhavat Bhavam.
Mm.
Fourth house is happiness. So you are looking into seventh house, happiness from your spouse, happiness from business partner. You are looking outward. For any particular happiness, you are actually looking into a Bhavat Bhavam house. But which is the exception? First is the exception. You are not looking into any other house. You are looking into the house itself. That means you are looking into your own heart. You are looking not outside, you are looking inside. That is why first house is the Bhavat Bhavam associated with itself. Sun can be improved by looking inwards. What I have done in the past, why I have come to this earth, why I am doing this, what will be the benefit of doing this, how I can improve, how people are going to respect me, how I don't have to flaunt that I am the son of so and so, how I will have my own status. All are associated with sun. And that can only be done by looking into yourself, looking inwards, what you have done wrong and how to correct it. I hope this makes sense, isn't it?
Only lot of thinking is required. Lot of information today.
Lot of information, lot of thinking. It is because you are not actually accustomed with all the houses, all the signs, and all the planets.
Sir, can you send us a chart or something of which planet is exalted in which sign and all that? Because
Let me complete that today itself, and we will again start some new topic in the coming class. Okay. So just remember two things, and you will remember astrology forever: exaltation and debilitation, and the sign of a planet. So I have already told about the sign of the planet, isn't it? But as we are
yes,
recording the session, it should be better to actually write here and explain how things can be remembered. So this is the house of what? House of moon.
yes,
And I am using the Kalpurus Kundli, K P
KPK.
K. Remember this, huh? That means first sign is Aries, and that is the first house. Second sign, and there is no planet here. I'm going to put planets according to their houses is as per KPK. So moon is the
okay.
owner of which house? Fourth house of
Fourth
KPK.
house, yes,
Cancer sign. And sun is the owner of which house?
Sun is the owner of fifth house, Leo.
Fifth house, Leo. Now I have to remember the ownership. Ownership can be remembered by having a similar relation of sun and moon. Similar means next neighbor of sun, that is Mercury. Okay. Next neighbor of moon, that is also Mercury. Means Mercury is next to sun and Mercury is also the owner of the house next to moon.
Yeah.
So you are going one step forward and one step backward. Forward from the sun and backward from the moon. Okay. So now next is Venus. Second neighbor of sun. First neighbor is Mercury, second neighbor is Venus.
Same with
Similarly,
second.
from moon also second neighbor is
Venus.
Venus. Third neighbor is Mars. And from moon also third neighbor is
Mars.
Mars. Very easy to remember. Fourth neighbor is Jupiter. Here also fourth neighbor is Jupiter. And finally we are left with Saturn and Saturn. So I am recording it, so you can easily refer it and you can also use it. Okay. Very easy to remember. I started with sun and moon and I wanted to visit who are the neighbors. So now sun has the first neighbor Mercury. Moon has the first neighbor Mercury. Similarly, sun has the second neighbor Venus. Moon has the second neighbor Venus. We are going on different sides. We are going this way and we are going this way. Okay. Mars, Mars. Jupiter, Jupiter. Saturn and Saturn. So don't ask me about Rahu and Ketu now. Okay. Because Rahu and Ketu are secretive planets. So let them be secret for a while. Easy to remember. This has been recorded. You go through the recording. Okay. Now, exaltation sign. Which planet is exalted in which house? Okay. So, I will again delete all of them and I will simply write planets which are exalted first and the house. So, before that, let me tell you about sun. You have to use the logic. Sun is exalted in the first house. Sun is exalted in the first house because soul is associated with which planet? Sun.
Sun.
And the self or the health or your personality is associated with which house?
First house.
Who is the first citizen of a country or who is the most powerful citizen of a state? Then we say king is the most powerful citizen of a state. And if there is no king, then we will say the first leader, the prime minister or the president according to the system of the country can be the head or the most powerful person. So accordingly, the most powerful person can be sun because sun is the king. And for your chart, the most important thing is you yourself, isn't it? That is seen from which house? From the first house. You are nothing without your intellect. If you are not intelligent, then ultimately you are not going to be respected. So that is why intelligence is a first thing. You must understand what to do, what not to do. That means you must be aware with who you are actually. And that answer is given by sun, who you are actually. So that is why sun is exalted in which house? In the first house. And the planet which is exalted in a given house, it is debilitated in the opposite house. Remember this formula. So where sun is debilitated? Just in the
Seventh
opposite
house.
house. In the
Seventh
seventh.
house.
So I will repeat only the exaltation. You will simply find out the house of debilitation by yourself using the 7 calculation rule or 7 house from it. Okay. Now about moon. Moon is exalted in the second house. I have explained a lot many things about second house today in the starting few minutes of the. So who is exalted here?
Moon.
Moon. So moon is debilitated in which house?
Eighth.
In the eighth house. Just opposite to it. Okay. Here again, for study purpose, you can also write Rahu is also exalted in the same house of moon. Rahu is also exalted in that house. So when Rahu is exalted in this house, the opposite house will be the exaltation for Ketu. Because they are always opposite to each other. Certain classics also say Rahu is exalted here because it is a Mayavi. It should not be associated with a single house. Its presence can be spread into any house. Okay. So that is why classics also differ. If Rahu is exalted in the third, then Ketu is exalted in the ninth. That is why Ketu is also the Karaka of astrology. Because Ketu is exalted in the eighth house, house of astrology. Ketu is also exalted in the house of Guru. Okay. So usually it is seen that the Guru are sannyasis. In our Vedic astrology, all the Gurus, they practice lot of you can say they practice lot of spiritualism. They are very much rooted to our religious scriptures because they are the writer of the scriptures. They are also the practitioners. They don't advise like we people do in the social media or we teach astrology. They usually practice what they see. So that is why they are more religious than we are. A guru should be very much religious. He should understand the scriptures first. Then Ketu is a person who is associated with the past birth. Certain planets are associated with the past birth. Ketu, Rahu and Saturn. That means they represent things you have already learned. They represent things which are very powerful. So Rahu is very powerful in both the houses, second and third. Okay. So suppose somebody is having powerful Rahu placed in his third house, and that Rahu is also associated with the sixth house, then he can be a great lawyer. I will come to that. But exaltation we are considering. Okay. Exaltation means the planet has great energy to harm you or to help you. Don't always confuse that a good planet is going to help you. It can harm you also. In the chart of Lord Rama, so many planets are exalted. So many planets are exalted. Still, he got a very difficult house, difficult experience. It is that avatar of Lord Vishnu, where so many troubles are there. So many problems are there. Okay. So what is the benefit of having so many exalted planets? You can understand like this. Suppose your sixth house is associated with problems, enemies, and you have an exalted planet in the sixth house, or the sixth lord is exalted. That means your enemy is going to be very strong. You have some eighth house and you have an exalted planet there. That means you may face an accident or surgery which is of very critical nature. So it is not a very big benefit to have exalted planet always, or not a very big loss to have debilitated planet always. It is the energy of the planet which you are going to use. You may use them or you may not use them. Certain house energies are very difficult to use. Eighth house energy, very difficult to use. Things happen by itself. That is why it is associated with actually your karma. Because nobody wants to have an accident. Nobody wants to have some diseases which are not going to be explored, diagnosed, or nobody wants to go through any kind of surgery. But still people go because these eighth house energy are controlled by something else. Astrology is controlled by something else. Even if you are trying a lot, you can deceive people, but you will not get great explanation, great philosophy, or great understanding of astrology or the calculation unless you have a good house. Unless the house is supported by Jupiter, Ketu, Mercury, because they are the primary karaka of astrology. For example, why astrology naturally comes to me? Usually people tell me, sir, you teach BNN, you teach KP, you teach basic astrology, Vedic astrology. Why? Usually people refer to note while teaching. They will look at the notes and they will tell you. I don't have to do that because my Jupiter is placed in the 8th house. My Jupiter is placed in the sign of Mercury. So Mercury is the karaka of mathematical tools, Ganit, in astrology. Astrology has two branches, Ganit and Phalit. Ganit means calculation, Phalit means prediction. So now who will predict? Jupiter and Ketu will predict. Okay. And who will calculate? Mercury will calculate. Who will explain? Mercury will explain. What is the explanation? That will be decided by Jupiter. I have to explain certain thing, but I am using my speech, my writing ability to do so. Okay. So that is why Mercury rules astrology, Jupiter rules the philosophical part, and Ketu always is associated with the prediction part because of the intuitive nature of Ketu. Because in the chart, so many planets are working. It is not that only one planet is working. So many planets are working. So many rules can be applied simultaneously. And you cannot remember all the rules and you cannot apply all the rules at the same time. So you have to choose a decision. I have to tell this. That choosing is a job of intuition. Okay? I am saying something to you that you will face this particular situation after 2 months, after 3 months. I am making a decision because some intuition is going on behind me, and that intuitive power is given by Kit. So that is why if somebody wants to be a good astrologer, then he should have a guru because Jupiter is guru. He should have great speaking ability and writing ability and good touch in mathematics because these are under the domain of Mercury, and he must have good intuition skills. It is the under the domain of skills, 5th house and Ketu. Okay. So now you have skills, 5th house, and Ketu is there. Then you have great intuitive skills. Okay. Ketu in the 5th house. So I have Ketu in my 5th house in the sign of Jupiter. My Jupiter is in the sign of 8th house in the sign of Mercury, and my Mercury is in the sign of astrology, that is Scorpio. So that is why I also wonder why things can be explained such easily. Why I don't need to actually read so many things, even if I read a lot of books. So now this is some kind of thing which is associated with the natural ability of the planet, and after practice, efforts, you can gain this particular confidence. So what is efforts? 3rd house. And what is 8th house? Transformation. So I will say that you can transform yourself by having astrology as a way of life. You should be associated with astrology in one way or the other. People who are suffering from depression, who are actually having insomnia, restlessness, they are not actually getting sleep. So they must associate themselves with astrology. Why astrology? Because 12th house is house of sleep. And who is the owner of 12th house? Jupiter. And Jupiter is also associated with astrology. Eyes are seen from the 2nd and the 12th house. And who are the eyes? Sun and moon are the eyes. So Jupiter is exalted in the sign of moon. So indirectly again for a calm, happy mind, restless mind are usually seen from the moon, restless mind. So a person who is restless cannot sleep. He will not have pleasant sleep. So age, moon is again associated with the Jupiterian energy. And sleep is also associated with the 12th house and Jupiterian energy. So Jupiter's enhancement will definitely solve this problem. People with depression, that means their moon is weak. And when moon will become strong? When moon will get the support of Jupiter. When Jupiter will come to the sign of moon. So that is why astrology is a panacea for those people who are into depression, who are into relationship issues. Okay, so we'll come to that. Now I have explained where Jupiter is exalted. Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Moon, so it will be debilitated in this sign. Nobody is exalted in the sign of Sun, because the king cannot give anybody a power to override him, to be greater than him. So that is why nobody is exalted in this sign. Remember this, okay? Soul is the first and the foremost thing in the structure of the universe. Soul. Everything has a soul. Okay? So that always takes the first position. So nobody can supersede it. And that is why soul is exalted in the first house. It will start with the first letter. It will start with the first sign. It will start with the first house, soul. In the sixth house, Mercury is exalted. Okay? In the seventh house, Saturn is exalted. In the eighth house, Ketu is exalted, I have told. Ketu can be exalted in the ninth house also. In the 10th house, Mars is exalted. Mars means action. In your job, you require action. You cannot simply speak. You cannot simply advise. You have to do certain job and you have to complete some task. So Mars is action, and action is completed through work. So that is why action represented by Mars is always exalted in the house of work. House of work is owned by Saturn. Okay, Mars is exalted. Here also nobody is exalted, because every planet will give you love according to its own structure, own shape, and its unique way. So love can be given association to all the planets. We cannot single out a planet which is going to give you gain. And in the 12th house, Venus is supremely exalted. Venus. Okay. So now let me just clear this chart to show a final clear picture of the houses where planets are exalted. Then you will understand a lot many things using the principle of, and we'll conclude the class within 4-5 minutes. Okay. I will not take any question today. You have to go through the video first. Then we'll start discussing about the implications of this class in the coming class. Okay. So now I have cleared all the pictures and only planets which are exalted are seen here. Okay. Clear? So I will place Rahu in two places. Rahu in two places and Ketu also in two places. Okay. Classics also say this. Rahu Ketu can be exalted in these houses. Okay. So this is the picture. This is how the exaltation chart is made in KPK. Now what about debilitation? So I will do just the opposite, and this will be a chart of debilitation. So first I will take away Ketu, isn't it? I have to make Ketu debilitated. So it will go to the other house. And I have to take Ketu here. Ketu away from these two houses, and I have to place Ketu here. Now Ketu is debilitated, okay? And I have to also clear the Rahu and Moon. For debilitation, I have to bring to the respective debilitated house. So Rahu is debilitated here. Moon is also debilitated here. Rahu is debilitated here. I have to take the Sun to the debilitation sign. So what I'll do, I have to clear these houses because they are going to change position now. So Saturn here and Sun Very easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now I have to take Jupiter away. Jupiter and Mars. So Jupiter here and Mars here.
Mm.
Then I have to take Mercury away. So let me delete Mercury and also Venus. So for debilitation, Venus is here and Mercury. So this is the final chart for, let me write out. Debilitation. So don't say people that you have debilitated planet so your life will be ruined. Don't say that you have exalted planet so you will have a king-like life. Astrology is not that simple, okay? We have to verify everything using the Bhavat Bhavam principle and we have to find out whether the person is doing work or not. You have the ability to become an astrologer, but you will never become an astrologer unless you try, unless you read, unless you explore, unless you research. Because research is seen from the 8th house associated with astrology. Transformation is seen from the 8th house associated with astrology. So astrology can transform you. This is the meaning also, okay? Astrology can transform anybody. And a science professor is saying this. Okay? So
Yeah.
it is not a baseless thing to consider astrology as not science. It is always scientific. Our interpretation can be wrong, but this is based on pure mathematical calculations. And after testing the principles for so many charts, we are actually composing astrology for the benefit of the society. And it is very difficult to actually practice and understand all the aspects of astrology. Nobody can do that. So that is why there was difference of opinion between rishis also. Parasar was saying something, Brahmya was saying something, Gemini was saying something, and they usually differ. And again, with the passage of time, things are also changing. Stan, Kal, and Patra. Okay. So if a king was having so many horses and so many elephants, we were saying that the king is very powerful. And nowadays, if a person is having so many cars, so many private jets, then he is powerful. So now horses and those elephants were replaced by posh cars, isn't it? So now we have to just understand this. So now, if a planet is debilitated, that means you are primarily susceptible. You are likely to face problems with that planet's karakatva or characteristics. Suppose Venus is relationship, then you will have relationship issues if Venus is debilitated. Venus is also spouse, so you will particularly face problem with your spouse. Okay, Venus is also self-confidence. So that person who has poor Venus is not very self-confident. He will not dress properly. Even if he dresses well, he will simply think about what people are thinking about the dress. He will always try to get validation from others. People have to say, yes, you are looking good. You are having a very good dress. Even if people are not saying anything, he will never find out the happiness out of those branded dress or very costly dress also. Venus is weak. If Venus is strong, you don't require validation. You don't require people to tell you. You understand by yourself that yes, I am looking good. I am wearing a very good dress. It looks great on me. Self confidence. Okay, you carry yourself very prudently, powerfully, without a thought of mind that somebody will make a comment and I will say, I will understand that this is the thing I am actually doing. You are doing something, you are very much, you can say, confident about the effect of that. So that is why if a Venus person who is having very strong Venus in the chart is wearing a very average dress, it will be very neatly cleaned, it will be ironed, and it will be the most presentable thing in his life. You can note it from the dress, and you will have a very rich feeling. Somebody is wearing a 5,000 cloth and somebody wearing a 50,000 cloth. But if Venus is strong, then the person having that 5,000 cloth will look like as if he is wearing the 50,000 cloth, and vice versa. Okay. Venus is associated with all kind of luxuries in the world. So your apparels, your food habits, where you live, where you go for vacation, which restaurant you visit, what kind of ornaments you have, all these are different parameters of, you can say, luxury, isn't it? So Venus luxurious means you will get all these things naturally, easily, and you will have a great spouse. If Venus is bad, even if you are born in a very rich family, you are prone to, you are likely to fall into such trap where you are not very happy, you are not having a lot of money to spend, and you are actually devoid of the luxury which Venus actually shows in your chart. So strong Venus is this, but efforts can change this. And that is why the role of the astrologer is there. He has to tell how you can change it. So transformation of your luxurious nature. Suppose you are trying to have some luxury in your life, but you are not getting it. Then 8 from Venus will tell how to change it. How to change things upside down. Third from it also tell it. Okay. So now if you want luxury in life and you are not having that, then you should also see the third house from Venus and the 8th house from Venus. And I hope this much is sufficient for this week.
Oh, sir,
Thank you
too
so
much.
much. Thank
More
you so
than
much.
sufficient, sir.
So
Thank you
tired.
so much. And we'll actually have classes on Sunday. Sunday is a very good day, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And one class per week will be enough. We'll try to finish so many things, and finally we will start chart reading in the next month, okay? Bhavat Bhavam
Okay.
principle, then also you have Yoga Karaka principle, Raj Yog. These are the things that are to be discussed, and then we'll start doing things on charts. We'll take the chart of Lord Rama, Vishnu,
Ashwini,
Krishna.
do you know where to look for information? Sir's PPTs. Do you know where to look?
Yes, I will
No.
share the PPT also, okay?
No, not this one. Other ones. Which house, what it stands for, and all that.
I will share, don't worry. I will share, and I will share the PDF of my book. I have written a book of 600 pages. So I will share that book. You will have a lot of learning from the book. Okay.
Okay. All
Sir,
right.
is your book available on Amazon?
My book is available in Flipkart.
Flipkart. Okay.
Okay. Flipkart, it is available. And if somebody is in India, then I can courier that, because sending a book to the foreign countries costs a lot of money. Okay.
Costs a
I
lot
have
of.
tried. I have sent 3 books to Australia paying 3,000 rupees.
Too
Oh,
much.
Okay.
Too
So
much.
if you know some courier, then also I can do that. I can send that. And Valley in India, I can send a
Sir,
book
can you
to.
send it to me in Hyderabad? I'm here now.
Yes, I will
I'll
send.
take
I
it
will
with me.
send. I will send it today itself. Okay. I
Okay,
will
I'll
share
share
you
address
the.
with you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And Valley,
Thank you
ma'am,
so much.
is actually residing in USA. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm in USA,
Uh,
but I came
and
to Hyderabad
currently she
to
has
visit my
visited
parents.
India. Okay. So
Yeah,
she will be joining
yeah.
our classes every
Okay.
Sunday. And happy learning to all of you. Okay. I hope you are enjoying the class.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
I
Sir.
am. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome and have a great Sunday. Bye, all of you.
Thank
Namaskar.
you. Thank you. Namaskar, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.